Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we try to cut through the noise and get to the insights that, well, genuinely matter.
Yeah.
Today we're driving into something pretty powerful. What if the biggest things holding you back financially aren't, the market or your job, but actually things inside your own head? Beliefs you might not even know you have.
It's a really compelling idea, isn't it? And our mission today really is to shed some light on those limiting money mindsets and look at how you can actively unlearn them. It's a journey that actually often hits women differently, disproportionately.
Right.
And we're going to pull some incredible insights from someone who hasn't just talked the talk, she's absolutely lived it.
Exactly. Our focus for this deep dive is the, frankly, extraordinary story of Afnan Khalifa. I mean, she went from being a waitress in Canada to building a multi-million-dollar business by, age 26, which is just incredible.
It really is. And her story is so much more than just finance. It's really a deep dive into personal psychological transformation.
Yeah, it's not your typical rags to riches thing. We're going to uncover some surprising facts, those real aha moments from her life. Things like cultural influences, the unexpected value she found in struggle, and just the raw power of shifting your mindset, how it literally reshaped her future.
That's right. So yeah, get ready for some, I think, really actionable takeaways here.
Okay, let's start at the beginning. Afnan's background, because it's so key.
Yeah.
Born in Canada, right, but raised for 18 years in Saudi Arabia, Palestinian roots.
Yeah.
That mix, that dual culture, you can imagine how much that shaped her early on.
Absolutely. And what jumps out immediately is how she talks about the cultural conditioning, especially for women in her upbringing. The message was kind of, don't be seen, be invisible, obey.
Wow.
Which was, a stark contrast to the freedoms and expectations for men in that same environment. It created a very specific world for her growing up.
So with that kind of pressure, that conditioning, how did she deal with that? What parts of her started pushing back, maybe? The parts that eventually fueled her success?
Well, that's where you see her sort of rebellious side emerge. But it wasn't loud rebellion, not initially.
Okay.
It was more internal. She started questioning things, asking herself, why can't I have power? Why can't I make my own money, have my own opinions?
Right.
But crucially, she tried to do it without disrespecting her family or her culture. It was like an inner negotiation almost.
Kind of revolution. She talks about feeling like she was in a cage for those 18 years.
Yeah.
So moving to Canada at 18, she must have thought, okay, this is freedom.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But what she found, and this is such a key insight for all of us, I think, even in a completely new country, she felt she was still chained.
Chained by what, though?
By those inherited beliefs.
Yeah.
By guilt, by parental expectations that she'd carried with her. She felt like too much or too loud. The cage was internal, really.
That's powerful. And it makes you think, doesn't it? What internal chains, what inherited beliefs might you, listening right now, still be carrying around?
It's a great question. Because for Afnan, it led her to really attach her self-worth to other people, friends, family, even her job.
Seeking validation externally.
Exactly. If she was alone, she felt weak, invisible, which sadly, I think a lot of people can relate to. It just shows how much our inner world matters, even when the outside changes.
What's really amazing, though, is how she looks back on those struggles. She talks about God's magic or maybe divine intervention.
Right.
Like she was almost forced into isolation in Canada.
Yeah.
New country, new culture. And she said for 7 years, she really struggled to make deep connections.
Yeah, it sounds incredibly lonely. And on top of the social isolation, there was serious financial hardship. She was properly broke, no family support financially, which was new for her. She hadn't worked back in Saudi Arabia. And rejection, just constant rejection. Applying for 20, 30, even 50 jobs, turned down again and again.
That sounds crushing. How did she not just give up?
Well, this is where her mindset really kicks in. She completely reframed rejection.
Oh, so?
Her take, rejection is just God's protection.
Wow. That's a powerful way to look at it. But how do you actually do that? How do you cultivate that belief when everything feels like it's going wrong?
Yeah, it's definitely an active practice, isn't it? Not just saying the words. It's about consciously looking for the detour, the hidden path in every no. Training your brain to see it as redirection, not defeat.
Okay.
And for her, it meant that when those retail jobs she wanted didn't happen, another door did open, an unexpected one.
Which was?
The waitress path.
Right. So the rejection from retail kind of pushed her into waitressing. What did she actually learn there? How did that end up fueling her millions? Seems unlikely on the surface.
It really does, but she describes it as this, like, incredible, unexpected classroom.
Mm-hmm.
For 2 or 3 years working in different restaurants, she wasn't just carrying plates. She was seriously honing her communication skills, her understanding of people.
Like what specifically?
Learning to read the room,
Yeah.
adapting instantly. Is it a quiet couple needing space? Yeah. A loud bachelor party wanting interaction? A family with kids?
Right, different energy, different needs.
Exactly. Being professional, but also entertaining when needed. And really getting good at understanding what people need, sometimes before they even ask. These are skills that translate anywhere, especially in business.
It really illustrates that point she makes. We can only connect the dots looking backward.
Not forward, yeah. At the time, she was probably thinking, why me? Why am I stuck here waitressing, feeling isolated? But looking back, she sees it clearly. It was the biggest blessing, as she calls it.
Which leads to another interesting belief she has, that struggling intensely when you're young is actually good.
Yeah, preferable even. Her view is like, get those really tough lessons out of the way early. So that when the bigger opportunities, the blessings come later, you're actually ready for them. You've built the resilience, the character.
So that intense period helped create the Afnan who knows her worth, who doesn't need that external validation anymore.
Precisely. The struggle forged the foundation.
Okay, so those challenges gave her skills and resilience. But what about the deep-seated beliefs? What did she have to fundamentally unlearn to step into that millionaire mindset? What was the biggest shift?
The absolute pivot point, she says, was realizing that money could come from her, for her future.
Not just from parents or inheritance or the past.
Exactly. Dismantling that ingrained belief and understanding that she, as a woman, could actually change her family's whole financial story, not just her own bank account.
That is incredibly empowering. And she talks about action, doesn't she? Stacking successful actions makes success inevitable.
Yeah. Her point is, look, if you consistently do the right things, the results have to follow. It's almost like a law of physics for her. Diligence over just wishing.
And she pushes back against the idea that successful people are just born different or special.
Totally. She's like, no, they just do it longer, more reps, like working out in a gym. It's about persistence, putting in the volume of effort, not some magic spark they have that you don't.
It suggests transformation is possible for anyone then. It's about the work.
Absolutely. And she uses herself as an example. She talks about being this super shy university student who couldn't even make eye contact during presentations.
Hard to imagine now.
Right. And now she's this incredibly confident speaker. It just shows you can reshape your mindset. You can build new skills if you commit to it.
How did she do that practically? Any tools she used?
Yeah, she mentioned something really interesting. The concept of an alter ego.
An alter ego, like a different persona.
Kind of. She created Afnan Khalifa, this version of herself who is confident, purpose-driven, takes up space. And that's separate from maybe regular Afnan who might have fears or doubts.
So it's like a mental tool to step into the identity she wanted.
Exactly. It allows her to show up and deliver her message powerfully without letting those internal limitations hold her back.
That's clever. And it ties back to persistence, doesn't it? She mentioned a statistic about podcasters.
Oh yeah, that only 1% make it past 10 episodes.
Wow.
It just highlights how many people quit right before things might start compounding. They give up too soon.
Which brings us to setting those big goals, because let's face it, aiming for big money can attract a lot of cynicism, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And Afnan's approach here is quite smart, quite strategic. She says you have to meet people where they are, at their current level of consciousness about money.
So you don't tell someone making, say, $2,000 a month to suddenly aim for $100,000.
Exactly.
Yep.
That feels impossible, overwhelming. Instead, she helps them build belief incrementally.
How? Like smaller steps?
Yeah. Maybe the first goal is getting from $2,000 to $5,000 a month. Then, once they hit that, okay, now let's aim for $10,000.
Ah, so each win builds confidence for the next level.
Precisely. Brick by brick. It makes the bigger goals feel much more achievable over time.
And she uses her math background here, right? This idea of reverse engineering goals.
She loves that.
Yeah.
Taking a big target like $10,000 a month, breaking it right down into concrete daily or weekly actions. What exactly do you need to do today, this week, to hit that number?
So it makes it less scary, more like a checklist.
Exactly. It turns this huge, daunting thing into a series of manageable steps. It removes the mystery, the how do I even start Feeling?
Now, this next idea is fascinating. She talks about brainwashing yourself for bigger goals, but she means it positively.
Yeah, it's about the power of your environment. What she's really talking about is strategically surrounding yourself with people who are already talking about and achieving those big numbers.
Like belief by osmosis.
Kind of. It subtly recalibrates your own sense of what's normal, what's possible. If everyone around you is hitting $50 K months, suddenly your $10 K goal doesn't seem so crazy anymore.
Right. It stretches your mental ceiling.
Exactly. She mentioned a client who went from making okay money to $50,000 a month, largely because she was immersed in that network, that environment where those numbers were just normal conversation.
It really shows the power of who you surround yourself with. And she even suggests women might have a unique way to achieve success.
Yeah, she puts it interestingly, like maybe women can achieve it easier by the presence, by attracting, by aligning without the grind.
Less brute force, more alignment.
Something like that. Contrasting it with maybe a more traditional, forceful male approach. And ultimately, she says, find joy in the journey itself, the ups, the downs, the spice of it all, not just the end result.
Like, life's a movie, appreciate all the scenes.
Pretty much. Learning to appreciate the whole process is key for staying happy and resilient.
Okay, let's talk strategy. Making money. She keeps coming back to mindset first.
Always. She even riffs on that be delusional about your goals trend,
Right.
but flips it positively. Like, hey, we're often delusional about our negative self-talk, right? So why not be a bit delusional about our positive potential?
Good point. Redirect the delusion. What about income streams? Does she say diversify like crazy?
Actually, no. She challenges that common advice, start 10 different businesses. Her approach is different. Master one thing really well. Get really good at your core skill or area, and then build multiple income streams from that one thing.
Ah, leverage. So like your podcast example.
Exactly. A podcaster could make money from Spotify, YouTube ads, maybe paid guest spots, a private community, renting out their studio space, selling related products.
All stemming from the core podcast itself. Depth, not just scattered breadth.
You got it. Maximize the value from what you're already expert in. And then she drops that provocative line.
Oh, yeah.
Money is the easiest thing to do.
Easier than what?
Easier than marriage, apparently. She says business involves less emotions, which certainly makes you pause and think.
It does. She also talks about hitting a big financial milestone, like a $100,000 day. But the excitement,
Yeah.
it doesn't last.
Right. She says maybe it lasts 10 minutes. The point being, don't get too attached to the number itself or the material things.
Find gratitude in the process instead.
Yeah, gratitude for the journey, the lessons, the person you had to become to get there. That's the real reward, not just the bank balance. Detachment from the outcome is key for peace.
So, practical advice. Someone starting out, maybe they have an extra $1,000. Where does it go?
Her answer is crystal clear. 100% into yourself.
Not stocks, not crypto. Yourself, meaning
Skills, knowledge, mentorship, programs, things that build your capability. That's the highest ROI investment you can make, especially early on.
And this connects to her point about changing your environment, right?
Absolutely. She's adamant you won't reach a new level staying in the same old pond. Same friends, same job routines, maybe even same family dynamics if they're limiting.
So actively seek out new influences.
Yes. Find mentors, join programs, go to events, get around people who think bigger. Open your mind to what's possible outside your current bubble.
She also narrows it down to 2 essential skills. Master these, she says, and you'll never be broke. Impossible. What are they?
Number 1, learn how to build an online brand. That could be with your face out there or anonymously, doesn't matter.
Okay, build a brand. And number 2,
learn how to sell, not in a sleazy way, but how to communicate value, how to connect solutions to problems.
brand building and selling. Those 2 together.
Unstoppable, in her view. You can always create value and generate income if you have those.
But what about saturation? Everyone's building a brand on social media. How do you even stand out?
Yeah, it's common concern. But Afnan believes people with real substance always cut through.
Substance meaning.
People who actually teach something useful or genuinely inspire or make you think differently.
Not just noise.
Right. She uses that funny example, the German cucumber salad boy. Someone who got huge attention for something simple, authentic, unique. Be distinct, add real value, don't just try to blend in.
Okay, let's shift to fears, because fear holds so many people back. She has that quote.
The rich trust their vision and doubt their fears, but the poor do the opposite.
That really hits home, doesn't it? Makes you pause and think. Where am I trusting my fears more than my vision?
It's a powerful mirror. Her point is, anyone can make money. The real barrier is those limiting beliefs, those fears.
So what do you do? How do you handle the fear?
You attack the fear, she says. Don't give in to it. Take action despite the fear. Move towards it, not away from it.
Any practical ways to do that?
She suggests trying to shut down the emotion for a moment and think logically and find silence.
Silence.
Yeah, like just walk or sit in the dark. Get quiet enough to hear what you actually want from life, separate from all the external noise, family, friends, society's expectations.
Get clear on your own desires.
Exactly. And linked to that, she emphasizes that it's okay to change.
Change your mind, your beliefs.
Yeah, you don't have to marry your beliefs. As you learn and grow, your opinions should evolve. It's healthy.
Okay, this independence is clear. But how does this financial power, especially for a woman, play out in relationships? That's often tricky territory.
Definitely.
Like the whole 50-50 debate on bills and dates. What's her take?
She's very direct. Says her strong brand basically filters out men who'd even propose 50-50.
How so?
It communicates her standards up front. But if it did happen, she says she'd pay for the date herself, calling it a low-standard date.
Yeah.
And that'd be the end of it. No second meeting.
Wow, okay. Clear boundaries. She also talks about traditional roles, leading.
Yeah, this is interesting, maybe controversial for some.
Yeah.
She argues it's hard for a woman to fully trust and be led by a man if she's consistently out-earning him.
Why?
She feels it can lead to a subconscious emasculation because, in her view, women are inherently wired to want to be led in certain ways within a partnership.
That creates a tension, then, between these independent, successful, new generation women.
Right, women who have their own money, high standards, not waiting for rescue.
And men who maybe were raised to feel valuable because a woman needed them financially or otherwise.
Exactly. It's a dynamic shift happening in real time, reshaping modern relationships.
And personally, what does she want, even being so independent?
She still wants your partner to lead. Financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually. That's her standard, her money. That goes to investments, maybe kids someday, but not split household bills.
It's a very specific blend of modern independence and almost traditional expectations.
It is. And she pushes back hard against the idea that successful women end up alone.
Yeah.
Her attitude is basically, if having standards and boundaries means some people filter themselves out, so be it. Better that than settling. Happiness and self-worth come first.
And that applies to timelines, too, like marriage age.
Totally. Forget cultural pressure. Focus on being ready yourself, discovering who you are. Happiness over just ticking boxes for a perfect picture.
That's a lot to unpack. Connecting money, mindset, and relationships so directly. What's the big takeaway from her whole journey?
Well, if you zoom out, it really hammers home the need to unlearn those limiting beliefs we all carry. The power of taking consistent strategic action. Investing heavily in yourself, your skills, your mindset, and just redefining success completely on your own terms. Building that inner strength.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with that mantra she has. I'm connected to everything, attached to nothing.
That's a powerful one.
Think about it. The art of detachment. Knowing when to step away from things, situations, people, even thoughts that cost you your inner peace.
But without closing yourself off.
Yeah.
Keeping an open heart for what's next, even if you've been hurt before. Being present, feeling things, but not letting them control you.
Exactly. Being in the world, but not letting the world own your peace.
And her final word, especially for women listening, make a lot of money, don't feel guilty about it, have fun with it. Surround yourself with other supportive women.
And remember
that God is abundant. There's no shortage of money on this earth. It's an abundance mindset through and through.
Let that sink in. Are you connected to everything, but attached to nothing? What beliefs might you need to unlearn to unlock your own financial power? Something to think about until our next deep dive.